So, let's start at the top. What's up, guys? My name is Richard Terrell. Welcome to DO Live. This is a daily stream in which we talk about game design. We have a Discord channel in which we talk about game design every day, but this is a stream that kind of hits the highlights. For the next few weeks, we're talking about Smash Brothers and only Smash Brothers. So, you can find these videos on our YouTube channel. You can find our Discord at our Twitter page, and otherwise, here's some interesting things about Smash Brothers. I was going to add something else, like one more piece to the Smash resume every time, but I haven't thought of anything in the meantime. Oh, so that's all we need to do. Ooh. I could extend the podcast one. I did a Smash podcast for a startup community site, and I did my own personal podcast for Smash. Two different sets of podcasts, right? Because that's how long it's been. So we're going to jump back into the list. And I think the thing I want to talk about today is essentially getting our feet wet, talking about how Smash intersects with the community. And we're going to talk about metagame, we're going to talk about politics, we're going to talk about a lot of things like that eventually. But it really starts with, I think, the rule set and how the community came upon the rule set that we kind of all use now, and what that means for Smash overall, and kind of how that the rule set mostly affects is stages, because we hardly ban characters, and no one can fight for items anymore. So the only other thing that really changes over time with people's opinions and voting process is which stages are in the game and which stages are out. So I want to talk a little bit about what makes each stage unique and what makes Smash unique in general by talking about the level design of its stages. And we might touch a little bit on... Where is it? It's lower. Level design. Favorite stage. And we'll touch on my favorite stage and a little bit of what makes platform play so interesting. Okay, so we're going to jump into the game. Oops, not that. There we go. So these are all the stages in Smash 4, and it looks like Smash Ultimate is going to bring back as many stages as they possibly can. So that's a ton of stages. And for the first time ever, we're going to get a hazard switch, which people have been clamoring for a long time. They kind of want to play stages like this. I'll show you. They kind of want to play stages like this with the really cool music and the really cool graphics and the really cool background and the really cool platform layout. So like it starts off as flat, like Final Destination, then all of a sudden, you know, platforms start coming in. You're like, cool, let me just jump on this. Like, hey, it activates. Like, how cool is this? Get off me, Ryu. And then you can see the little tracks going, which direction the platforms are going to move. And these are random? I don't even know. I've never played this. And then, just like in Mega Man, they drop you off on those dotted line parts. That's hilarious. But, yeah, I don't even know too much about the stage because despite having this really cool flat time and the really cool dynamic platforms, which is nothing else like it, this freaking jerk flies in from the background. Here he comes. Freaking jerk. Like, look at this. How can you play a serious match with this jerk here? And then whoever kills him gets a point and he shoots at you. It's not like he just stands there. If he just stood there and didn't attack you, that'd be kind of a different story. But then he like does that. Classic Yellow Devil, like, transferring himself from one side of the screen to the other. So like, what are you gonna do about that? And then if you kill him like this explosion is not mine, so I can stand in it and possibly toss Ryu into it and get some free damage and stuff. So that's pretty obtrusive. If he didn't shoot you and didn't move, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But yeah, it's just too much for the tournament community. They deemed it was too complicated, too much. It's too intrusive. When really all we need is a flat ground to play and compete. So like definitely having this third dude jump in, this monster. Look how quickly he comes back. Like, come on. Like, give us time to play. He's back. So having a hazard switch now definitely changed the game. It changes how many stages can be viable, and I hope that the hazard switch basically takes away this yellow jerk, but keeps the platforms, right? Because we're now going to have Final Destination versions and Battlefield versions of every stage and a hazard switch. So there's got to be some combination where we'll have more stages. But Smash Brothers have adopted strange rules over the years, and it really started in the Melee days because that's when the tournament scene was first coming around. But for whatever reason, I'll turn off and switch. We actually played on a lot of stages in the first year or 2 or 3 of Melee. Surprisingly, right? We played on Jungle Japes, the one with the rushing water and the claptrap that came up. We just played on it. It was fun. It's fine. We played on Rumble, the other jungle level from Donkey Kong with the DK rap. We actually played on that in tournament, I think. We played Brinstar, the one with the big center island that rotates. Ridiculously weird and lumpy. That's like the absolute opposite of Final Destination. The stage was circular. It had lumps. And it spun. It doesn't get much more sort of uneven than that. I lost a tournament match on that stage to a freaking out of state Peach player in Melee, and I really wanted to win that tournament. But all he did was freaking stand on that stupid stage and down smash, and Peach's down smash kind of sucks you up into it. And on that stage in particular, you can take like 50 to 80 damage just from trying to move around. And I almost won, and I still lost. I'm like, oh, that's so stupid. Like, well, it seems like all these rule changes that have happened to Smash over the years, before the changes were made, I seem to have like a horror story of me losing because of it. But hey, it was just part of the game back then. It was part of the diversity, and I kind of liked it. I wish Peach wasn't so cheap. Like, there's no reason you should have ever given a character the ability to do 80 damage with one move in the game. That's just bad. So Melee, terribly unbalanced for reasons like that. And it's a little crazy when you factor in stages. We used to play on Corneria. Oh, it was such a fun stage. Despite ships shooting at you, despite the laser camping. I'll show you. It's so funny. Because we have Corneria in here. I think. Where is it? Did we not? When was the last time I saw Corneria? Oh no. Am I blind? It's kind of like this stage, but it's not. Oh, we don't have... So Corneria is coming back in Smash Ultimate. It's one of my favorite stages. We used to play on Venom, the other stage where the Great Fox is flying vertically and all the platforms in the entire stage are slanted. Super annoying. We played tournaments on that. We played teams. So yeah, Smash started off with a lot of diverse stages. And slowly but surely, people didn't like freaking diagonals like this. This stage looks pretty tame right now, except for it transforms. And the fact that it stays zoomed out for the majority of... Oh, and the whole stage tilts. Crazy. This stage is crazy. And then this ship's gonna get targeted. You better get out, Ryu. Oh, I didn't see that ship there. Shoot, Ryu died. Yeah, I don't think anyone can tolerate this kind of craziness, but... So eventually we were like, less craziness, less things exploding and killing us. We want less stage hazards. For some reason, anytime somebody loses to anything that isn't their opponent hitting them, they want to take it out of the game. Like, oh no, I got hit by Claptrap. Like, what were you doing hanging out down there? Well, the opponent pressured me down there. Then your opponents did a good job then. Like, no, take it out. And you're like, so much debate, so many arguments over the years, and eventually the stage list got more and more conservative over the years. And sure, you can play Smash very well and very deeply on just one stage, but part of the reason why Smash is so interesting is because of this massive freedom of movement, and that's articulated most via platforms and different size platforms and different areas that the platforms are on. So... and being able to go on and off the stage and how those spaces are defined. Stages are important in Smash, and I've always lamented the fact that people, reduced it. And really, in the Melee days, that just made it to where characters like Fox and Marth and Samus and whatever, those characters could do better, because those were the people complaining. The people picking the highest tier characters and trying to win the tournaments the most and making the most stink about it when they didn't get the results they wanted. And there's just me trying to play Kirby and hang in there. How we also played on Big Blue. I lost a tournament match there to Mashiq in Most 2, I think, when we went and hosted it down in Houston. Sad day. Sad day. I'll show you Big Blue. It's in here, right? I guess I'm not too familiar with the stages in this game. I played the 3DS version of Smash a lot, and those stages are crazy. I'm so glad those are coming back. And this weird Mario Kart stage from Brawl, yeah, it's so crazy. We played Delfino Plaza in Brawl a lot, so this is a really cool case study. So this is one of the most dynamic stages in the entire, like, all of Smash. It moves around. It goes in different locations, and if you pay attention, the locations that it goes to, it's not in a cycle. Like, sometimes you can go here to the freaking 3 pillars that are in the background over there, or you can go to the beach. I think it may always start off from the neutral into the beach, but from there it kind of mixes things up. Look at this lump. You played on the stage, and like lump, and you knock somebody in the water, like, oh no, I'm drowning. If they stay too long in the water, they'll drown. And you have all this time to jump out, and the more damage you have, the quicker you drown. Like knocking people into the water, and when the stage transforms back up, trying to get back up in time. Like, we played this, right? These platforms are pretty cool. The ceiling is really low when the stage is transforming because it's in the sky, so they made you could die super easy off the top. And now this crazy this is the literal tri-plat. Like, look, 3 pillars. And they put a platform in the back for Pokemon Trainer. How courteous. But like, yeah, look at this. And this has like wall kicks. So we took out a level in Melee called Foresight because, you know, Sheik and other characters with wall jumps could infinitely wall jump back and forth. And when they did, they had full invincibility, and that was like completely cheap. Now wall kicks don't have invincibility, but we played in that level anyway with the water and then the pillars and the transformation. But here's another super controversial area. Freaking walk. Oh, not this one. So another example of a lumpy stage with these walls. Walls are pretty controversial in Smash because you can like get chain grabs. But then this is a walk off. Look at this. Like, get out of here, Ryu. You walk right off the stage and die. It's a slant over there. And then over here is not a walk off. And this stage doesn't have a ledge you can grab. And it's near the wall anyway. Like, this is crazy. And it's only a brief transformation. You go back over here. So players had strategies on all these different transformations and all these parts. And I think we're going to the final, like, yeah, square area. Oh, we're going on top of the big shine thingy. So this is another area. Look, walls. Walls, controversial in Smash, but a lot of times if it's only temporary, it's cool to play around. Just like Pokemon Stadium 1, which is one of my favorite stages of all of Smash. So sweet in Melee, so sweet in Brawl. And when they took it out for this, I was so sad, but hopefully it's coming back. And like, you can go up through the bottom of these platforms like that. Crazy. So this stage is like 6-7 stages in one, each area with its own strategy. It was cool just playing on your toes and not knowing what you're going to get, not knowing the order, and not knowing what's happening. It's not cool not knowing what's happening. And then Meta Knight, you know, in Brawl tried to Scrooge under the stage and like camp, and it was just so annoying. Like, the way we played as a community was so bad sometimes, and the way we just refused to sort of do anything about it. Just, So let's see if it takes us to the final transformation. And it looks like the footage is a little choppy in the stream. Let me know if it's smooth or choppy, because it's choppy in my preview, but I'm fine if it's only choppy there. Final transformation, please! Oh, this is even another place! So this stage is like 8-9 stages. Look at this. A nice final destination flat area with water on the sides and water swim-offs, not even walk-offs. Crazy. And I wish the transformations would stay into some of these areas a little longer, right? But the whole thing about Delfino is like, it's an island, you're cruising around and you're on vacation. And then, look, the center platforms change. Look at this. Slants here and a flat platform here. Super unique. There's nothing else like this. And there's no other stage that even mimics this formation whatsoever. Back to the beach. Yeah, they're not going to go to the other area with the walk-off, but we'll... I guess on the list I could talk about combos. It's so funny how like people love combos and love zero to deaths in Melee, then as soon as you give strong combos in later games, people just like complain. Oh, look at this platform formation. Uneven platforms. I wanted something like this in Smash 4 that's just a normal stage where the platforms are uneven. And you get a little bit of that in Town and City, I think. But I wanted more. Here's the final. Oh, this is another area? I forgot about this one. The water right... This is shallow water, and there's a wall here. There's a wall here. But if you get on top here, it's a walk-off. If you go to the right here, it's a walk-off. And these little umbrellas are so funny to play around. Just stand on the umbrellas. There's no smaller platform in all of Smash, I think, than these umbrellas right here. And now look at this. Large scoop on the top. One platform here. Love to play a stage that has this permanently or more consistently or whatever. Are we going to the area? Wow. So as you can see, back to the yellow. Still haven't been to the final area possible for Delfino. So yeah, this stage is just a whole bunch of variation. One of my favorite things is being able to adapt, being able to think on my toes and like take the items that are near me and take the situation that's in front of me and just make the most of it. And I feel like a lot of Smashers don't know that if they just grew up on tournament rules. I also feel like people can only adapt so much. Like before, like people get real salty and they blame a whole bunch of things for why they lost. But technically they're kind of right. Like anything that was in the game is part of the reason why you lost, whether or not you didn't factor it in or whether or not somebody else did, right? So like it's kind of true that they took you to a crazy quote-unquote stage and beat you because you didn't know it, but it's up to you to learn it. It's the same with character matchups. Like, oh, he picked a character almost no one plays and I had no idea. Yeah, like it's on you. Now either you apply a general, your general knowledge to it, or you're just out of luck. And if you can't adapt fast enough and they can, they beat you. Like it's up to you to figure out where to spend your time and what to focus on. But with that said, let's consider Splatoon 2 for a little bit. Splatoon 2 currently has, what is it? Like 15 stages. And Splatoon 2 also has 4 competitive modes and a 5th mode if you just like Turf War for whatever reason. Now, one of the complaints from the Splatoon community was that that's too much variation. Like people, oh look at this super wide platform setup. Man, this has got to be the most varied stage in the entire game. It's like, I'm going to give a rough, it's like 15 different stage layouts, including these platform transfers, and then, hey, in the final area, look at this. A little awning over here, a little mini dippy swim over here. You can stand over here and walk off. You can shallow water battle, you know, with walls over here and trap people in corners like this. Like, check this out. If I change this hit damage, like 1, 2, 1, 2, you can't go anywhere. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you can't go anywhere. Like that's why walls are dangerous. And there's the walk off over here. Crazy. The stage is amazing. And we played it, and it was fine. And when people were afraid of dying to walk offs, you know, they played around it, and you didn't have to play around it too long because the stage transformed. It was fun. It was fine. Some characters had some pretty cheap kills on the short cylinders on the top. That's pretty much why we took out Meta Knight Halberd, yeah. This stage is similar to the Delfino stage, but on one of these initial areas, the ceiling is super slow or low because Sakura likes to make it to where when you're in the sky, you know, you're closer to being Team Rocket blasting off again. So he makes the ceiling really short, and you can kill people off the top here. Let's see, 1, 2. I almost killed Ryu. Let's see if I can do it again. I think it's also when the stage is transforming. Yeah, I killed him. That's almost never kills on any other stage. Crazy. Let me see if I can get him at 0. Oop, I'm at 11. Oh, that's close. I bet I can kill him at 40 then. That's crazy. That's crazy. But then it's part of the strategy. And Rosalinas were so cheap here. They're like, oh, I'll throw up there. And that's before we even knew how to get around it and before whatever. So like sometimes it just feels super cheap. And people are like, I want to lose because of blah, 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 and not because of blah, blah, blah. And so roles were shaped and changed and turned and whatever. But that's just kind of what the community has dealt with. So let's back up a little bit. In general, I think there's a couple of things that are really good for Smash to bring out really good gameplay. 1, you never want to stack too many platforms on top of each other. 2, you never want to let players circle camp. Like this stage is kind of neat because you can go up through the bottom of it, so you know you can do stuff like that. But you only can do that so much, right? So you never want to give the player the opportunity to just like go under the stage and avoid you, go under the stage and avoid you. You never want to give them the opportunity to be like I jump to this platform, and then right when you get near, they drop down, and right when you drop down, they run over here, and then right when you get near, they jump up and run away. It's called stage circle camping, and characters with higher speed and mobility can do that. So you definitely don't want that to happen in any capacity. It's part of stage and level design. You want moving platforms are fine, ledges are fine, solid walls are fine. The inability to cross under, like this stage you can't go under, so it's a good stage to take people like Pit from Brawl or Villager from Smash 4, because you're like, they can't escape underneath. They're incredibly more limited now. That's cool. That's what a stage counter pick should do. Force people to think differently or play different characters or whatever. Except for people get mad. But what else is annoying in Smash is diagonal platforms. You want to see those as sparingly as possible. Like, you don't want too many of those diagonal surfaces in the game because it's awkward. I'll show you why. Diagonal platforms. Let me see if I can change Ryu to Game & Watch. And I can change. Let me just be random. What stage has permanent diagonal platforms? Like this Sonic stage. Okay, so it's a perfect stage where we actually played on this in tournament, and because of circle camping and stuff, you know, it had issues. So look at these platforms. So you see anything funny about that? This is me on the slant going down. Same as time. This is me on the ground. Same as time. But then when I punch on the platform, look where the hitbox is. It's in the stage. Right? Like, Samus is still animating as if she's on a flat surface. But the hitbox goes through the stage. Now, for better or for worse, you know, I could actually hit people under the stage better. But for the most part, I'm going to be fighting people above the stage. And that's a little annoying. You know, it's cool to aim your attacks different ways. And when you have aerials, you know, that slant doesn't really matter. But for characters like Game & Watch... Whoa, do your thing, Game & Watch. He's like one of the few characters in Brawl, yeah. So his character sprite can easily rotate, except for when he's flicking bacon, apparently. If he does any other attack... Wow, you are a piece of trash. Okay, do any other attack. Not grab, it's not grab. So if he does like a down tilt or down smash right here, you'll see that his character sprite actually adjusts and perfectly animates to the slant. That's because he's a sprite, I guess, and it was easier for them to do that than with the 3D models, and I don't know why, but it's been like that since Melee. Okay, come on, Game & Watch. Okay, no, come on. Okay, now hit me with the move. Not, okay, yeah, whatever. Piece of trash. Okay, hit me with the move. Hit me with the move. It's not a move. There. So his down tilt was like up in the air because he was on a slant. Couldn't really freeze frame that for you, but you get the picture. Game & Watch is a rare example, but other characters have awkward like hitbox placement problems, and it's not really a problem, but it's one more factor that people would complain about when they lost. We used to play on Duck Hunt. So like walk-off stages in general have been a big no-no for Smash. And that really started... We used to play them in Melee. We played on the cool... Mario Land 2. Is that even in this game? Like, I know so little about this game. No, it's not. Hopefully all the stages return. Screw all the characters. Get out, Snake and Ice Climbers. So basically, Duck Hunt stage. We used to play on the stage in tournament because it's pretty much a Final Destination with a couple other cool quirks. And we learned the quirks. When you kill the birds, Pac-Man, yeah, let's do a classic battle. Game & Watch and Pac-Man. And when you kill a bird like this, the duck dog always appears where the birds fall. The last bird falls if they're too close to each other. So if I kill this bird here, and I'm ready to do a rising down smash, yeah, easy to predict, deterministic. Just pay attention. And look, the hidden grass is so funny. I freaking lost a tournament match fighting a Charizard. I've lost so many tournament matches. Doesn't really matter. But here's the problem. Characters that don't have fast jumps, like Kirby, can't get anyone up here. And they just jump over and over and you can't get them. And as soon as they see you halfway up the tree, they just jump over here. And since Kirby has slow air, he can't get over there. As soon as Kirby walks over here, they just double jump like this, much faster than Pac-Man, and come back over here. Kirby can't do anything. This is freaking stage circle camping. So stupid. But the only reason this is possible is because these platforms are too far away, basically. And Kirby can't find any nice intermediate like platform here to put pressure on it. So then people banned it. I mean, rightfully so, because you can't really tell people not to exploit that, even though you can and you should. Being able to enforce a tournament role is pretty important. So you just ban the whole thing. I'm like, oh man, this is our only stage in the game that had solid walls like this. Look at this fun Pac-Man. So in this game, your wall jump refreshes after a few like seconds. So you can continually wall jump if you know what you're doing. And I used to just have so much fun just getting as many cycles of wall jumps and different tricks and different hover tricks as possible. Pikachu has a good one of those as well. It's a ton of fun. But it's the only stage with walls, and I want to exploit that, and you can't. So, like, great. We lost our only stage that could do that really cool thing. Otherwise, the stage also has other problems. If you look really closely, and I mean really closely, I don't think you can tell. Well, Pac-Man, so they use a script to basically flatten all the models in this game, in this level, because it's like a 2D 8-bit classic level. So like my character looks round, but he's actually like flat. Maybe you can see with the shadows. Something about the shadows? No? So he's flat. You're like, oh, what difference does that make? Almost none. Almost none until all of a sudden some of your moves hit better more consistently, because the hitboxes in this game are actually drawn in 3D. When Link swings his sword around, the hitbox has like, it's basically, if you do a cutaway, it looks like it's just a small orb that grows and shrinks like this, like, yeah! But it's actually because it's 3D, and the hitbox part of it here is swinging into the 2D plane, and then fully extending in the 2D plane, and then leaving. So like, a lot of things, a lot of attacks are calculated in 3D. And there's a thing called the Z-axis, and Cloud is so stupid. So stupid. I'm going to put that on the list. And we'll talk about it later. But by collapsing the 3D and just calculating it hard in 2D, some of your hitboxes change. Some of your attacks get more range, or more active frames, or the sweet spot that would be this tiny 3D dot is actually a larger 2D dot, right? Just depending, right? And some people didn't like that. You're like, come on. Like, I get the sentiment. I want to make the game as consistent as possible so that I can apply my skill and blah, blah, blah. But the very foundation of playing with like 60 characters, even on 5 or so stages, is a complexity wall and foundation that's much bigger than anyone's ever going to get to anyway. So what does it matter if it's a little bit, stages are a little bit more complicated? That's what I say. So let's go back to the Splatoon 2 examples. 15 stages, 4 main modes. That's a ton of combinations. People complain that if you have any of these modes available in tournament with any of the stages, there will be less diversity in their playstyle, because certain weapons are only good on certain stages. And if you don't know what you're going to get from such a wide variety of possibilities, you're going to pick a general weapon that's generally good on all the stages, and then work on that and practice that and practice that. And that means the diversity of guns are going to pigeonhole to a small set that work well almost all the time. But if you shrink the amount of stage variety that you could possibly get, and you're like, I know that we're only going to get port macro and that's only going to be splat zones, then you might try working up a weapon just for that stage, maybe a charger or whatever, and you'll have a unique strategy just for that. And you can actually spend more time practicing unique strategies like that and getting them up to tournament quality if there's much less variation you got to cover. So instead of, what would it be, 15 times 4? So like, instead of 120 stage combinations, you're just like, huh, it's about 10. I can practice for 10 stages instead of 120. And then the metagame would be different, because people could surprise you with this, or have a team comp that's only for one stage and only at one part of a best out of 5 set. That's super exciting. So any conversation about diversity and variation and balance is better served when you consider if it's too much or how the community will take to it, or if there's any way to better organize it to where, yes, over time you can get that diversity, but maybe not all at once, because that's quite a large pill to swallow. So I'll just wrap up this video. Let's see, diagonals on stages are bad, moving platforms are good. If they move off the top of the screen and kill you, that's bad. People don't like that. Ledges that are thin, I think, are bad. The less characters, like Battlefield stages, are thin on the edge. The less characters can poke through the stage and kind of attack each other, I think the better. I like nice solid stages that you don't bonk your head on. Stages that tilt, like Lylat, people hate this stage. The platform layout is pretty unique, and that's all there is to it, is platform and the slight tilting of the stage because it's flying through space. That slight tilting can be the difference between grabbing the ledge and not, between grabbing it quickly and not, and if somebody's attacking you on the ledge, that could kill you. That's the thing. People complain, but we still kept Lylat in most of our tournaments, and it's been interesting. So other than stages like 75 meters, which is, you can't even play this. It's not even a Smash Bros. Stage. It's almost unplayable. It's just so crazy with the ladders and the no solid ground to walk on. Some of my favorite stages are still Battlefield. And this is for somewhat in between casual and tournament play. I just love these stages. I thought this was such a neat stage, but I think when the characters go into the background, it's kind of too hard to see. Luigi's Mansion is a sweet stage. You can destroy it. So it's like a circle camping problem because they can just go on the second level, and when you get the second, they run to the first. Then when you run the first, they get the second because some of the platforms you can't go down through. But then if you just destroy the pillars, it turns into Final Destination with 2 odd platforms on the side. So that's cool. And actually, those platforms on the side may be the smallest platforms in the game, just like the Delfino umbrellas. Never liked this stage. Walk off sides, crazy carts. Yeah. Didn't play this one much. Love Delfino. This stage has weird gravity and walk off sides. Good luck. This stage has circle camping, and it's kind of hard to deal with. People didn't like the barrel back in the day, but too bad. Never played Skyloft a lot, but it's pretty much like the Delfino of Smash 4. Elden Bridge is like a weird walk-off Final Destination with a pit in the middle, which is kind of cool, but it's kind of hard to traverse the pit and get people to not camp the sides. No. This stage, like Mega Man, has a big old metro that comes in and messes with your day. Otherwise, the platform layout is pretty interesting. Nice, large, flat stage with tiny little platforms on the end. Kind of like the tiny little metro platforms that you jump on to platform. I keep saying platform. But, yeah, like, look at this. These platforms are unique. And I don't think a Samus could platform camp a Kirby too well on this formation in particular. Look at Falco. I kind of like the uniqueness of Falco, but he needs a little bit more pizzazz, it seems. He's always been a character that his pizzazz came out of his melee playstyle, and then Brawl he was too strong because he was freaking cheap with his chain grab and his lasers and his illusion. So hey, nerf all those things, and what do you got? I don't know. This Falco. Oh yeah, so then these grubs come along. Look at this. Look at these grubs. Like, really? So the grubs, and then it really is just beating you up. But I think these grubs hurt a lot if you hit somebody with it. 12 damage. Look, it really is too big. He is clearly too big. And it really smashes the platforms. How cool is that? And then he's a neutral enemy until anybody basically beats him up enough. Well, that is wind. Crazy. And then when you give him enough damage, now he's on my side. And then these weird pods come up. You're like, what is this? And now he's on my side. He's going to feed energy off from the side of the stage and turn into like Hyper Ridley. He's got his whole narrative worked out. And then he attacks my opponents. Not me, because he's my friend. Burns the bottom of the stage. I didn't know he didn't directly attack anyone. He just kind of runs his routine, which is kind of cool. And I could hit Ridley if I wanted to get him out of here. Look how strong he is. He just killed Game Watch. Can't kill him. But yeah, this is way too intrusive. And he leaves if you don't kill him fast enough. So weird. What a weird stage. always thought, like, what if Smash were big enough to have multiple metagames running where people play different role sets and stuff? Never happened. Low tier tournaments were kind of a thing, but they're also kind of boring. You want people fighting their best against the other people at their best and not just like goofing around. But they're all right. This level's kind of crazy. Halbert's crazy, but I like it if it weren't so small ceiling. This stage, no. We played this in Melee. It was a legitimate stage until Fox and Falco ruined it with their shine canceling, and Falco could just kill you on the right side off the mountain just by double shining and straight up to the blast zone. Fox could shine walk you up the mountain and kill you. Those two characters. This stage was never... I think we actually played on the stage for a little bit in Brawl. Still legal-ish. This stage just too many hazards, but again, a nice weird platform setup. This stage we played in Melee until we realized the walk-off sides and the camping just wasn't going to work. I really like this stage. I want this stage to be in tournament. Except it has walk-off sides, and you're like, people hate those things. And if only there was a way to fix walk-off sides for most... for competitive play, maybe like putting glass walls on the side so you have to really smash them through to kill them. Kind of like they have in the Break the Targets. That's my suggestion. Hey, but this stage, the platforms are random. And I think they're random among like thousands of different setups. Because look how offset this one platform is from the other. That's how different they can be. That's how much variation each can have. And there's 4 or 5 of these things that can rise up in a row. So then you're like, oh, with that minute of a difference, you'll never play the same stage twice. That might be kind of weird and annoying, but I think it's hilarious, and I like hitting Game & Watch for 33 damage. Let's see the next formation. Look at this crazy formation. Neat. Yeah, so a lot of people have strategies over the current stages in all the Smash games, but based on blast zone size, because sometimes they want to survive longer with this kind of character. Sometimes they want blast zones to be smaller so they can kill you faster with this kind of character. Sometimes they want a big stage so they can leverage some other kind of advantage. Like, all the little differences can be big differences depending on if you plan for it or know about it or understand it. We played on Castle Siege and Brawl. This was a competitive stage. Small, a weird platform layout, only one slant, small. Then it opens up to a walk-offable side. But because that stage is temporary, then it opens up to a tilting Final Destination rock kind of a thing, like crazy. You want to talk about crazy? And then it cycles all back over again. Fire Emblem. This stage is too big. Like, no. You can't even see what's going on. This is probably one of my favorite stages of all Smash. Skyworld is so crazy dynamic. Unique platforms that slowly hover up and down because they're on clouds, the ability to destroy the floor and knock people through it, the ability to tech in these little caves, which the cave, the survival cave in the temple was one of the areas of why people love it, because you're like, you can't die. This stage has a mini cave, but it can be destroyed, so I like that. And then the platform that goes along the bottom and kind of rescues you every now and then. Such a cool stage. I never really played this stage. This stage looks cool, but again, it has hazards, and a big crab walks in and tries to kill you. Tournament legal. Walk-off sides. This stage is cool because the platforms, when they zoom off the top, they don't kill you. This stage is just like walk-off sides and a big platform they drop on you, and the inability to jump up on the top, so there's circle camping. This stage has a big gap in the middle like Elden Bridge. The stage looks cool, but it's just like almost impossible to play. And look, the whole thing's curved. The top platforms are curved. We already talked about Duck Hunt. This stage is impossible. This stage is just wackadoodle weird. I love how the platforms shift down when you blow up the barrels, and like, ooh, I'm constantly changing the nature of the platforms of the stage. But if you stack platforms like completely across the screen like that and on top of each other, you introduce a circle camping problem that's really hard for slower characters with slow jumps and slow run speeds to get around. Nobody liked this stage. You could circle camp again underneath. We played this stage in tournament a little bit, but it's kind of crazy. This stage is slanted and has a bumper, and the camera's offset. The whole stage is curved and there's slants. Like, in this stage we already talked about. I love Dreamland. It's very simple, especially for a tripad. I thought Shusaku Castle was cool because the one side has a walk-off on the right and the left side's not. Never played in tournament because everyone's just like, nope, this is just Battlefield. This stage actually came back, and no one even considered it for legality, I don't think, but that's a cool-looking stage. Brought back some of the classics. This we used to play in Brawl tournaments. Pirate Ship, so dynamic, so crazy, falling through the sky, low gravity, drowning. The little dingle hopper flipper that flips you, the ship that can run into you. This is Smash. I love that stage. Midgar looks pretty cool, and for a level where a big summon cuts the stage in half and all these crazy things happen, it's surprisingly not that hazardous. Umber Clock Tower has a circle camping problem because you can run underneath. And then probably my second favorite most stage in all of Smash. Besides, I guess, Pokemon Stadium, Battlefield, Skyworld, Delfino, Pirate Ship, Rainbow Cruise. I love Rainbow Cruise. Then there's this stage. And this stage, again, is random every time. And in true style of Mario Maker, I just love the stage. Probably never play tournaments. But look at this, long slanted platform. There's a stage like this in Brawl called Yoshi's something or whatever. It's coming back in Smash Ultimate, but a stage with just a long slanted platform is not that bad. And even though it says slants are bad, you know, this is cool. The Brawl stage with the long slant for the upper platform is cool. Because little undulations and slants are worse than just one consistent long piece of stage that you're playing around with. Look how cool the stage is. Look at that. Look what I just did. This is so cool. And then it changes the style. Man, it's cool. So yeah, every stage has differences. Every stage has nuances. Stages are things to learn just like characters. Players don't like to think too much about stages. And we're not even talking about like killer strategies with these stages. We're just talking about basics. Like there's a lot more complex things I'm going to get to when I talk about how the different parts of the Smash Brothers fighting space play with each other. But this is another reason why this is probably my least favorite Final Destination. See, this side has a nice little cool flat area where you can, you know, wall jump and get back if you have a wall jump. Look at this side. It's asymmetrical. And you're like, it's only asymmetrical underneath, but believe me, people didn't know that and died, and I've died, and yes, it's something to learn, but can we get the undersides of our stages to be as symmetrical as the oversides? Thanks, Sakurai. So that's really all the thoughts I have on stages, just a brief overview. I have some 3DS stages that I really love. And Sakurai did some really cool things where because everyone has their own 3DS, you can show different characters, different players, different things. And I wonder if we're ever going to get anything like that for the Switch because, you know, people holding their own Switches, maybe it's possible. Who knows? But stages are amazing. They're part of what makes Smash really cool. So are items. We'll talk about items another day. I guess I didn't even put items on the list. Oh, I'm such a tournament player. But we'll talk about items. Until next time, guys. Peace.